couple of years ago, I reviewed the classic horror flick that is Poltergeist. Now, let's talk about the first of its two sequels. So prepare yourselves because they're back. Here's my review of Poltergeist 2, The Other Side. But these are Trevor Workers reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1986 supernatural horror flick Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, also known simply as Poltergeist 2. Released by MGM, directed by Brian Gibson, starring JoBeth Williams, Craig T. Nelson, Oliver Robbins, Heather O'Rourke, and Zelda Rubinstein, reprising their roles from the first film, along with Will Sampson, Julian Beck, and Geraldine Fitzgerald joining in. Now then, this of course is a direct sequel to the 1982 classic and second entry in the film series. In this film, it follows the Freeling family, who again find themselves under attack from the supernatural forces led by the Beast, revealed to be the spirit of an insane creature who led an apocalyptic cult during the 19th century, attempting to claim their daughter. In their efforts to save their daughter, the family finds help in a Native American shaman. The film was released on May 23rd, 1986. And unfortunately, neither Toby Hooper, who directed the first film, nor Steven Spielberg, who produced the film, well, didn't return. But however, Michael Grace and Mark Victor, who co-wrote the previous film with Spielberg, served as writer and producer here. Anyway, while this wasn't quite close to as big a success as its predecessor, it still did fine in my view, though critics dissed this film big time. So, before I get started with my review, if you have not seen my review of the first Poltergeist film, I would advise you to click on that card to check it out in case you might have missed it, or see it again if you'd like. Alright, just thought I'd give you some time. Let's get into the story. The film is set 1 year after the events of the first film. The Cuesta Verde neighborhood has been turned into an archaeological dig centered on the spot where the Freelings' home stood. The excavation leads to the discovery of a cave by a ground crew. Its existence is revealed to psychic Tangina Barons, who informs her friend Taylor, a Native American shaman. After investigating the cave for himself, Taylor realizes that the spirit is, of Reverend Henry Kane, an insane preacher whom he has seen in dreams, is after Carol Ann and goes to defend her. The Freelings have relocated to Phoenix, Arizona, and now live in a house with Diane's mother, Jess. Grandma Jess is highly clairvoyant and believes that Diane and Carol Ann possess the same abilities. Jess later dies from natural causes, but not before telling Diane one last time that she'll always be there if she needs her. Taylor shows up as Kane begins his first assault on the home. Unable to get in through the television, as the family has removed all television sets from the house, Kane's minions are forced to find another way in, this time through Carol Ann's toy telephone. The attack fails, and the family gets out of the house quickly. Taylor introduces himself and convinces them that running would be a waste of time since Kane would only find them again at any return to the house. Kane shows up at the home one day in human form and demands to be let in, but Stephen refuses. Taylor congratulates him for resisting Kane, then takes Stephen to the desert and gives him the power of smoke, a native spirit that can repel Kane. Tangina shows up at the house and helps Diane to understand Kane's history and how he became the beast that is now stalking the family. She also points out that Diane is unique in that she is one of the only people on Earth who have been to the spirit world while living. Diane has visions of Kane in the mid 19th century when he was the head of an apocalyptic cult. Cain led his followers through the desert and into the cave because he believed that the end of the world was coming, but then kept them trapped and captive there to slowly die with him after the day of his prediction came and went. Because he was so deranged and evil, Cain became a monster after death and controls the souls of his followers. Taylor warns the family that Cain is extremely clever and will try to tear him apart. With Taylor having left, the family's morale drops. Stephen lets his guard down and gets drunk, swallowing a mezcal worm that is possessed by Cain, who then temporarily possesses him. The possessed Stephen tries to rape Diane, who cries out that she loves him, weakening Cain's hold. Stephen then vomits up the worm possessed by Cain, which grows into a huge tentacled horror. In this form, Cain attacks Stephen from the ceiling, but he uses the smoke spirit to send him away. The beast launches another assault before the family flees. The Freelings decide to confront the beast on his own turf, the other side. Alright, now for the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. The Freelings return to Cuesta Verde and, with Tangier and Taylor, enter the cavern below their former home, where Cain pulls Diane and Carol Ann over into the other side. Steve and Robbie jump in after them through a fire started by Taylor. On the other side, which appears as a place of flowing limbos without the sense of direction, Stephen, Diane, Robbie, and Carol Ann unite. But the now monstrously transformed Cain grabs Carol Ann and begins to drain her life force. Carol Ann is saved by not by, excuse me, I'm getting tongue tied. After Taylor puts a charmed native spear into Stephen's hands, and Stephen stabs Cain with it, defeating the monster. Carol Ann nearly crosses over into the afterlife, but Jess's spirit appears and guides her back to the family. The Freelings then return safely and thank Taylor and Tangina. Stephen later gives the family car to Taylor after he had expressed affection for it previously. And Taylor drives away with Tangina after the Freelings realized that they now have no ride home. They chase after Taylor. End of story. So, what did I think of Poltergeist to the Other Side? Well, I've only seen this twice and what have you. The film's okay and what have you. While it's not quite as memorable as its predecessor, I will say it has its moments. Anywho, the film sits at a mere 20% on Rotten Tomatoes, saying they're back, but this hollow sequel retains none of the charm or suspense that made the original film, such as Haunting Spectre. Well, that's factually true, yes. The New York Times wrote that the movie, like most sequels, has no reason for existing beyond the desire to duplicate a financial success. There are no hanging threads left over from the first tightly woven script that can be pulled out and reworked. Instead, the film seems like a string of special effects held together by a far-fetched storyline with an unsatisfyingly sticky sweet ending. Writing for the Chicago Tribune, Gene Siskel was not thrilled. Wrote that director Brian Gibson simply runs the family through a maze of Indian rituals, ghostly vapors, and astral projections. Lots of sound and fury signifying you know what. Now, the LA Times' Michael Wilmington said the trappings of this film are fairly effective. Jerry Goldsmith contributes another eerie score, and H.R. Giger, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, or Jigger, um, has dreamed up some loathsome monsters, but the second film never has the hardness or urgency of the first. For the Washington Post, Paul and Atanasio, sorry if I mispronounced that. See, there are movies that make you want to mince words, and then there's this film, a movie so ineffably bad you can't even find the words to mince. Well, yes, this film does have flaws and what have you, But it's an okay sequel, but I don't think it's nowhere as good as its predecessor. Despite being dissed and what have you, it still did fine, but again, not quite coming close to its predecessor, making 75 million against its $19 million budget. And nevertheless, it followed its predecessor with a nomination for the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects as well as a couple of Saturn Awards, but unfortunately lost those. Zelda Rubinstein was even nominated for the gold for a Razzie for Worst Supporting Actress, but lost. And young Carol O'Rourke was nominated for the Best Younger Supporting Actress at the Young Artist Awards, which of course she would sadly pass away a couple of years later after this. But anyway, there would be a third film after this, but I'll save that for another day and what have you. So anyway, yeah. The only now one of the good things I did like was Jerry Goldsmith's score and what have you. It was very good and very eerie, especially with hearing that great theme that was used in the first film. Now you can't go wrong with that. I still like that. Now for our cast, we have JoBeth Williams back as Diane. She's still good, and Craig T. Nelson as Steve. They're both really good. Oliver Robbins returns as Robbie, and Zelda Rubinstein plays Hangina, and Will Sampson plays Taylor. Well, they're not too bad. Julian Beck played the Reverend Henry Kane, a real scary type character. Well, when you see him at first, but then when you see him in like a human form, yeah. But after that, mhm. Geraldine Fitzgerald played Grandma Jess. Well, not too bad. But I really like Harold O'Rourke's performance as Carol Ann. Still, she's good at just like the first film in my view. And I think that's one thing I do like about the Poltergeist films was because of, well, young Heather O'Rourke, whom, of course, as I've said, sadly passed away in early 1988. But I'll talk more about that when I talk about Poltergeist 3 sometime down the road, okay? So, anywho, with everything said, Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, it's an okay sequel, but again, not as good as the first film though. It tries its hardest, but sorry. I can't quite defend this film big time. So I'm not that I'm hating it or anything. I'm kind of mixed on this in my view. So would I recommend the film? Well, only if you are a hardcore completionist, give it a one-time watch. But if you're not satisfied with this, then avoid it and stick with the original, okay? Well, the story's fine, the direction's fine, it does have a pretty good cast, even with the new characters, but Jerry Goldsmith's score manages to save this film, though. So, enough, and a great performance by young Harold O'Rourke, rest in peace. Yeah. That's about it. That's about all I can say. So, what did you think of Poltergeist 2 The Other Side? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel. Make it grow and make the views grow. Tell all your friends about my channel and get them to know me. And you can share my vids with your friends if you wish. Maybe they'll come and be a part of my Big D Nation. And next time, I'll be bringing to you my Saturday morning TV log on the 70s Saturday morning show Monster Squad. And yes, you heard me correctly. The 1976 series, not the 1987 movie. I haven't seen that, to be honest. But that'll be for another day. But I'll explain about that when I do it. So anyway, if you like this, consider checking out these other Fright Fest films with some ghostly atmosphere and what have you. I'll give you two with the ghost with the most. Check out my re-review of Beetlejuice from 1988. The upper right-hand corner is my spoiler-free review of its new sequel, Beetlejuice. Or if you would like maybe something else, but kind of with a little bit of a beginning to it, check out my review of the prequel to Annabelle in Annabelle Creation. from 2017. In the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.